Reflection of light. Light is a form of energy. Light is needed to see the things around us. We are able to see the beautiful world around us because of light. We can read a book, see pictures in a magazine, and watch television and movies due to existence of light. And it is light which makes us see our image when we look at a mirror. We detect light with our eyes. Though we see the various objects or things around us with our eyes, but eyes alone cannot see any object. We also need a source of light to make objects visible. For example, we cannot see any object in a dark room or in the darkness of night because there is no light in a dark room or in the night to make objects visible. But as soon as an electric bulb, a tube light, or a torch is switched on and light falls on the objects, we are able to see them clearly. It is only when light coming from an object enters our eyes that we are able to see that object. This light may have been emitted by the object itself or it may have been reflected by the object. Light enables us to see objects from which it comes or from which it is reflected. For example, the sun gives out light. We can see the sun because the light coming from the sun enters our eyes. The objects like the sun, the stars, electric bulb, tube light, torch, candle, fire, etc., which emit their own light are called luminous objects. We can see the luminous objects due to the light emitted by them. Though luminous objects are very small in number, but they help us to see a large variety of non luminous objects around us. The objects like a flower, a chair, or a table do not have light of their own, but even then we are able to see them. This can be explained as follows. Though the objects like a flower, a chair, or a table, etc., do not emit light themselves, we can see them by the light which they reflect by taking it from a luminous object like the sun or an electric bulb. So, when the sunlight or bulb light falls on a flower or chair, some of this light is reflected towards us, and when this reflected light enters our eyes, then we are able to see the flower or the chair. Those objects which do not emit light themselves but only reflect the light which falls on them are called non-luminous objects. A flower, chair, table, book, trees, other plants, human beings, fan, bed, mirror, diamond, walls, floor, road, etc. are all non-luminous objects. In fact, most of the objects around us are non-luminous objects. We can see the non-luminous objects because they reflect light which is received from a luminous object into our eyes. Even the moon is a non-luminous object because it does not have its own light. We can see the moon because it reflects the sunlight falling on its surface towards us. From the above discussion, we conclude that light is a form of energy which causes in us the sensation of sight. Light travels in straight line. The fact that a small source of light casts a sharp shadow of an opaque object tells us that light travels in a straight line path. This is because if light could bend easily and go behind the opaque object, then no shadow could be formed. We will now discuss the nature of light. There are two theories about the nature of light, wave theory of light and particle theory of light. According to wave theory, light consists of electromagnetic waves which do not require a material medium like solid, liquid or gas for their propagation. The wavelength of visible light waves is very small, being only about 4 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter to 8 into 10 raised to minus 7 meter. The speed of light waves is very high, being about 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second in vacuum. According to particle theory, light is composed of particles which travel in a straight line at a very high speed. The elementary particle that defines light is the photon. Some of the phenomena of light can be explained only if light is considered to be made up of waves, whereas others can be explained only if light is thought to be made up of particles. For example, the phenomena of reflection, refraction, diffraction, bending of light around the corner of tiny objects. Interference and polarization of light can only be explained if light is considered to be of wave nature. The particle theory of light cannot explain these phenomena. On the other hand, the phenomena of casting of shadows of objects by light and photoelectric effect can be explained only if light is thought to be made up of particles. Wave theory of light cannot explain these phenomena. Thus, there is evidence for the wave nature of light as well as for particle nature of light. Physics experiments over the past 100 years or so have demonstrated that light has a dual nature. Light exhibits the properties of both waves and particles depending on the situation it is in. The modern theory of light, called quantum theory of light, combines both the wave and particle models of light. Reflection of light. When light falls on the surface of an object, some of it is sent back. The process of sending back the light rays which fall on the surface of an object is called refraction of light. The reflection of light is shown in when a beam of light AO falls on a mirror at a point O. It is sent back by the mirror in another direction OB, and we see that the mirror has reflected the beam of light falling on it. We can compare the reflection of light to the bouncing back of a tennis ball on hitting a wall. For example, if we throw a tennis ball at a wall, the ball bounces back. This means that the wall sends it back. Similarly, when light falls on the surface of an object, the object sends the light back, and we say that the object reflects the light. Most of the objects reflect light which falls on them. Some objects reflect more light, whereas the other objects reflect less light. The objects having polished, shining surfaces reflect more light than objects having unpolished or dull surfaces. We know that an object kept in a room can be seen from all parts of the room. This is due to the fact that usually because of its rough surface, the object reflects light in all directions. Since the reflected light reaches all the parts of the room, the object can be seen from all parts of the room. If, however, the surface of an object is smooth like that of a mirror, then the light falling on the reflected is only in one direction. Silver metal is one of the best reflectors of light. For example, a polished block of silver metal reflects almost all the light falling on it and does not transmit any light through it. But the surface of silver metal is easily scratched and soon becomes rough. So, ordinary mirrors are made up of depositing a thin layer of silver metal on the back side of the plain glass sheet. The silver layer is then protected by a coat of red paint. The reflection of light in a plain mirror or any other mirror takes place at the silver surface in it. Thus, a plain mirror is a thin, flat, and smooth sheet of glass having a shining coating of silver metal on one side. The silver coating is protected by a red paint. These days, mirrors are being made increasingly by depositing a thin coating of aluminum metal at the back of glass sheet instead of silver. This is because aluminum is much cheaper than silver and reflects light very well. A plain mirror shown the mirror on our dressing table in which we see our face is a plain mirror. In our everyday life, we use plain mirrors of different shapes and sizes depending on where they are being used. But in a science laboratory, a small rectangular strip of plain mirror is usually used for performing experiments on the reflection of light. In our diagrams, a plain mirror is represented by a straight line having number of short oblique lines on one side. The plain side of straight line is the front side of the mirror where the reflection of light takes place, and the side bearing short oblique line represents back side of the plain mirror. We will also be using rays of light on constructing the ray diagrams. A ray of light is the straight line along which light travels. The arrow head put on the straight line tells us the direction in which the light is traveling. A bundle of light rays is called a beam of light. We will now study the reflection of light from plane surfaces like that of a plane mirror. This is necessary to understand the reflection of light from spherical mirrors. Reflection of light from plane surface, plane mirror. When a ray of light falls on a plane mirror, it is reflected according to some laws called as laws of reflection of light. In order to understand the laws of reflection of light, we should first know the meaning of the terms incident ray, point of incidence, reflected ray, normal, angle of incidence, angle of reflection. So we will discuss these terms first. The ray of light which falls on the mirror surface is called the incident ray. The point in which the incident ray falls on the mirror is called the point of incidence. The ray of light which is sent back by the mirror is called reflected ray. Another term that we are using is the normal. The normal is a line at right angle to the mirror surface at the point of incidence. In other words, normal is a line which is perpendicular to the mirror at the point of incidence. The normal is represented by a dotted line to distinguish it from the incident ray and the reflected ray. Normal is just a perpendicular line to the mirror, and it should not be called the normal ray like the incident ray or reflected ray. The normal line is a line at right angles to the mirror surface. It means normal makes an angle of 90 degrees with the surface of the plane mirror. The angle of incidence is the angle made by incident ray with the normal at the point of incidence. In other words, the angle between the incident ray and the normal is called the angle of incidence. The angle of reflection is the angle made by the reflected ray with the normal at the point of incidence. In other words, the angle between the reflected ray and the normal is called the angle of reflection. Laws of reflection of light. The reflection of light from a plane surface or from a spherical surface takes place according to laws which are known as the laws of reflection. These laws of reflection of light are: first law of reflection. According to the first law of reflection of light, the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. Second law of reflection. According to the second law of reflection of light, the angle of reflection is always equal to angle of incidence. The second law of reflection of light means that if angle of incidence is 35 degree, then the angle of reflection will also be 35 degree, and if the angle of incidence is changed to 45, then the angle of reflection will also change to 45 degree. In every case, the angle of reflection remains equal to angle of incidence. What happens when a ray of light falls normally or perpendicularly on the surface of a mirror? If a ray of light is incident normally on a mirror, it means that it is traveling along the normal to the mirror. So the angle of incidence for such a ray of light is 0. And since the angle of incidence is 0, therefore according to the second law of reflection, the angle of reflection is also 0. This means that a ray of light which is incident normally or perpendicularly on the mirror is reflected back along the same path, because the angle of incidence as well as the angle of reflection for such a ray of light are 0. The laws of reflection of light apply to all kinds of mirrors, plane mirrors as well as spherical mirrors like concave and convex mirrors. By using the laws of reflection of light, we can find out the nature and position of images or of objects formed by the various types of mirrors. Regular reflection and diffuse reflection of light. In regular reflection, a parallel beam of incident ray is reflected as a parallel beam in one direction. In this case, parallel incident rays remain parallel even after reflection and go only in one direction. Regular reflection of light occurs from smooth surfaces like that of a plane mirror or highly polished metal surfaces. For example, when a parallel beam of light falls on the smooth surface of a plane mirror, it is reflected as a parallel beam in only one direction. Thus, a plane mirror produces regular reflection of light. The images are formed by regular reflection of light. For example, a smooth surface like that of a plane mirror produces a clear image of an object due to regular reflection of light. A highly polished metal surface and a still water surface also produces regular reflection of light and forms images. This is why we can see our face in a polished metal object as well as in still water surface of a pond or lake. A polished wooden table is very smooth and hence produces regular reflection of light. The regular reflection of light from a smooth surface can be explained as follows. All the particles of a smooth surface, like plane mirror, are facing in one direction. Due to this, angle of incidence for all the parallel rays of light falling on a smooth surface is the same, and hence the angle of reflection for all the rays of light is also the same. Since the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection are the same, a beam of parallel rays of light falling on a smooth surface is reflected as a beam of parallel light rays in one direction only. In diffuse reflection, parallel beam of incident light is reflected in different directions. In this case, the parallel incident rays do not remain parallel after reflection. They are scattered in different direction. A diffuse reflection is also known as irregular reflection or scattering. The diffuse reflection of light takes place from rough surface like that of paper, cardboard, chalk, table, chair, wall, and unpolished metal objects. For example, when a parallel beam of light rays falls on the rough surface of a sheet of paper, the light is scattered by making reflected rays in different directions. Thus, a sheet of paper produces diffuse reflection of light. No image is formed in diffuse reflection of light. For example, a rough surface like that of paper does not produce an image of an object due to diffuse reflection of light. Actually, the light rays falling on the rough surface of the paper are scattered in all directions and hence no image is formed. The diffuse reflection of light from a rough surface can be explained as follows. The particles of a rough surface like that of paper are all facing in different directions. Due to this, the angles of incidence of all the parallel rays of light falling on a rough surface are different, and hence the angles of reflection for all the rays of light are also different. Since the angles of incidence and the angle of reflection are different, the parallel rays of light falling on a rough surface go in different directions. The diffuse reflection of light is not due to the failure of the laws of reflection. Diffuse reflection is caused by the roughness or the irregularities in the reflecting surface of the object, like paper or cardboard. The laws of reflection are valid at each point, even on the rough surface of the object. The surfaces of most of the objects are rough, and to some extent, so most of the objects around us cause diffuse reflection of light and scatter the light falling on them in all directions. In fact, we can see these objects only because the scatter light is falling on them in all directions. For example, a book lying on a table can be seen from all parts of the room due to diffuse reflection of light from its surface. The surface of book being rough scatters the incident light in all parts of a room. Hence, the book can be seen from all parts of the room. A cinema screen has a rough surface and causes diffuse reflection of light falling on it. The cinema screen receives light from a film projector and scatters it in all directions in the cinema hall so that people sitting anywhere in the hall can see the picture focused on the screen. Objects and images. In the study of light, the term object has a special meaning. Anything which gives out light rays either of its own or reflected by it is called an object. A bulb, a candle, a pinhead, arrow, face, tree are all examples of objects from the point of view of study of light. The objects can be of two types: very small objects called as point objects and large objects called as extended objects. In drawing the ray diagrams for the formation of images, we use both type of objects according to our convenience. In ray diagrams, the point objects like point source of light or a pinhead are represented by a dot, and the extended object are represented by drawing an arrow pointing upwards. In physics, image is an optical appearance produced by the light rays coming from an object are reflected from a mirror or refracted through a lens. This will become clear from the example. When we look into a mirror, we see our face. What we see in mirror is actually a reflection of our face, and it is called image of our face. Thus, when we look into a mirror, we see the image of our face in it. In this case, our face is the object, and what we see in the mirror is the image. The image of our face appears to be situated behind the mirror. While watching a movie in the cinema hall, we see the images of actors and actresses on the cinema screen. Please note that an image is formed when the light rays coming from the object meet or appear to meet at a point after reflection from a mirror or refraction from a lens. The images are of two types: real images and virtual images. Real image. The real image which can be obtained on a screen is called real image. In a cinema hall, we see the image of actors and actresses on the screen. So the images formed on a cinema screen is an example of real image. A real image is formed when light rays coming from the object actually meet at a point after reflection from a mirror. A real image can be formed on a screen because light rays actually pass through a real image. Real images can be formed by a concave mirror. A convex lens can also form real images. We will see formation of real image with the help of ray diagrams after a while. The image which cannot be obtained on a screen is called a virtual image. A virtual image can be seen only by looking into a mirror or a lens. The image of our face formed by a plane mirror cannot be obtained on a screen. It can be seen only by looking into the mirror. So the image of our face in a plane mirror is an example of virtual image. Virtual images are so called because they are unreal images. A virtual image is an illusion. A virtual image is formed when light rays coming from the object only appear to meet at a point when produced backwards but do not actually meet after reflection from a mirror. A virtual image cannot be formed on a screen because light rays do not actually pass through a virtual image. A plane mirror always forms virtual image. Similarly, a convex mirror also forms virtual images. A concave mirror can form virtual image only when the object is kept within its focus. Formation of image in a plane mirror. The mirror will form an image I of the object O. We want to know how the image has been formed. This happens as follows. The object O gives out light rays in all directions, but we need only two rays of light to look at the image. Now a ray of light coming from the object O is incident on the plane mirror at a point A and gets reflected in the direction AX according to the laws of reflection of light, making the angle of reflection R equal to the angle of incidence I. Another ray of light OB coming from the object O strikes the mirror at a point B and gets reflected in the direction BY, again making an angle of reflection R2 equal to angle of incidence I2. The two reflected rays AX and BY are diverging. The reflected rays AX and BY backwards with dotted lines can be drawn. They meet at a point I behind the mirror. When the reflected rays AX BY enter the eye of a person at position E, the eye sees the rays of light in the straight line direction in which the reflected rays enter. So the person looking into the mirror from position E sees the reflected rays as if they are coming from the point I behind the mirror. The image formed by a plane mirror can be seen only by looking into the mirror. So if a screen is placed at a position in place of mirror, no image would be formed on it because the light rays do not actually pass through the point. They only appear to do so. An image of this type, which cannot be received on a screen, is known as virtual image. Another point to be noted is that the light rays shown by dotted line behind the mirror are only imaginary light rays. There can be no real light rays behind the mirror because it has a silvered reflecting surface at its back covered with a paint, which does not allow light rays to pass through it and go behind the mirror. So there is no light coming to the person directly from the image behind the mirror. It is only the light reflected from the mirror which appears to be coming from the image point. Image of an extended object. We have studied that a plane mirror forms point image of a point object, but most of the actual objects are much bigger than a mere point, and they are called extended objects or finite objects. An extended object can be considered to be made up of very large number of point objects. So the image of an extended object is a collection of image points according to corresponding to the various points of the object. We will now describe how a plane mirror forms an image of an extended object. The image thus formed is virtual, erect, because both the object and the image have arrowhead at the top and the same size as the object. Thus, the nature of image formed by a plane mirror is virtual, erect. Size of the image formed by the plane mirror is equal to that of the object. The image is at the same distance behind the plane mirror as the object is in front of the mirror. Position of image formed by a plane mirror. The image formed in a plane mirror is at the same distance behind the mirror as the object is in front of the mirror. In other words, the image and the object are at equal distances from the plane mirror, but they are on the opposite sides of the plane mirror. For example, if an object is placed at a distance of 5 centimeters in front of the plane mirror, then its image will also be formed at a distance of 5 centimeters behind the mirror, and the total distance between the object and the image will be 5 plus 5, 10 centimeters. Thus, the object will be at a distance of 10 centimeters from its image. Lateral inversion. If we stand in front of a big plane mirror, we see the image of our body in it. Though our image appears to be just as we are, but there is a difference. This is because if we lift our right hand, then our image lifts its left hand. As if we lift our left hand, then the image appears to lift its right hand. This means that the right side of our body becomes left side in the image, whereas the left side of our body becomes right side in the image. It appears as if our image has been reversed sideways with respect to our body. This effect of reversing the sides of an object and its image is called lateral inversion, and we say that the image formed in a plane mirror is laterally inverted. In other words, the image formed in a plane mirror is sideways reversed with respect to the object. The definition of lateral inversion: when an object is placed in front of a plane mirror, then the right side of the object appears to become the left side of the image, and the left side of the object appears to become the right side of the image. This change of sides of an object and its mirror image is called as lateral inversion. The phenomenon of lateral inversion is due to reflection of light. The image formed in a plane mirror is laterally inverted or sideways reversed with respect to the object. The characteristics of an image formed by a plane mirror are: The image formed in a plane mirror is virtual. It cannot be received on a screen. The image formed in a plane mirror is erect. It is the same side up as the object. The image in a plane mirror is of the same size as the object. The image formed by a plane mirror is at the same distance behind the mirror as the object is in front of the mirror. The image formed in a plane mirror is laterally inverted. Uses of plane mirrors. The plane mirrors are used to see ourselves. The mirrors on our dressing table and in bathrooms are plane mirrors. Plane mirrors are fixed on the inside walls of certain shops to make them appear bigger. The plane mirrors are fitted at blind turns of some busy roads so that drivers can see the vehicles coming from the other side and prevent accidents. Plane mirrors are used in making periscopes.